Welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, this is Youth Cafe, and of course I am your hostess with the mostest, Tanti Weyego. Brian Aseli is right here with me, and we're going to just jump right back into our discussion, Youth in Leadership. We have been asking you to use the hashtag Youth Cafe. Are you proud to be Kenyan? So let me just take a look at some of the responses we've gotten. Ali Adnan Hussein says, tell us what age is the end of youth. Leaders eating everything for youth, even girls their son's age. Then we have Mike and Deda who said, we are proud to be Kenyans but not certain about what's ahead for us. That is the sentiment among young Kenyans.
It is quite, that is quite clear that above 35 you're no longer youth. Whether you're married or you don't have kids, you're over there. But how we do it in Kenya, like I said before, with these elections and how we do our stuff is quite saddening, because we see people way over that trying to fit in the young people's shoes. And that's where I was very happy our lawyer here said it's like we're trying to crush the young people, and no one is willing to give the young people the opportunity to do the right thing. Tell you something, in Kenya right now, we're not seeing the problem is that. You see, the best leaders and the greatest tests of a leader is to realize a problem before it becomes an emergency. I believe we're already in an emergency. Yes. No one has seen the problem yet, that already young people not being given equal opportunity.
There's something interesting that you said before we took the break, and I've been thinking about it. You said when you go to school, you're told it's either you pass your exams or you fail and you're nothing. So do you think that we're kind of breeding a sense of a culture of fear within our students? It's like they're not working hard because they want to succeed. They're working hard because they're afraid of failure.
Absolutely. There is fear, there is suppression, there is this kind of cocoon that we're created for and put in there and told you're a failure and you'll never make it in life. So many stories I can come up with from the motivational point of view. A story of a man who wanted to become an engineer who scored a D in Form 4. I don't encourage failing, but if you do, there is something, that there is a purpose for you, go for it. Now, this guy decided, listen, I am going to become that engineer I'm going to be someday. What did he do? He started by a certificate, finished the certificate, did the diploma, finished the diploma, did the degree, finished the degree. Now he has a master's, fantastic job, he has the wealth, and he's creating not only opportunity for other people, but the influence around him is amazing. So you can't tell me failing in school that is it. There is the music industry. You can be an artist. You can be anything that has nothing to do with...
I feel like there's something that's burning. Yes, you want to say? Go ahead.
There's something I need to say. When you live in a country where the more you steal, then the higher your chances are of being elected or even being successful and being featured in magazines and being featured in talks, then what motivation do we have to work hard? What motivation do we have to stay in school? What motivation do we have to do things the right way if the people that are leading us are leading from despicable places? Yeah, what motivation do if I can just rob now and then I will become an MCA or a governor or even a president or a senior person in society, what motivation do I have? Yeah.
So we're going to go straight into the economic sector, whereby the economy involves everybody. Anybody who's born is registered as a company by getting a birth certificate, and then later on you work hard and you get other certificates that are supposed to aid you to become a taxpayer. So anybody who's born, you're a registered taxpayer. So, and this week, economically, we've been affected when there was an increase, 16% VAT tax on fuel, and fuel runs the world, definitely, because it's a currency in its own way. So I'd like to ask you one simple question. Did it affect you guys? Were you affected?
Yes.
Because this is a captain, bei ndege ikipanda na nasikia wajaluo wataumia. But is it affecting others and
You're putting
not?
it so mildly, affecting us. It's not affecting us. It is killing us.
This is destroying
like
us.
we're already on rock bottom. So what it has done, it has revealed that there are basements to this rock bottom in this country. We have rock bottom, we have basement 1, basement 2, basement 3, we're on basement 4. Yeah.
We young people have a problem, big one, because this is affecting us directly. When you increase the fuel prices, what happens? Bei ya matatu, bei ya chakula, bei ya stima. And then these young people are the ones who are supposed to invest. They're the ones who are supposed to set aside some money to run, what we are talking about, starting their industries or businesses or save for certain courses in life. How are they supposed to do that when you do this? Okay, in 2013, they say, the government, parliamentarians, they say, you know, the economy is not stable, just got a new constitution, so let us push forward this tax thing on fuel to go up in 2018. Okay, it has happened. But what has happened in the middle of that? We already got to the emergency I was talking about. What happened is 700 million. National youth, you know that word?
Youth.
It pains me.
Very painful.
Then 9 billion. And then we are so much in debt. We are trying to pay back. What are we doing in here? Stealing. Now, how are we helping in this situation? You know, if this fuel went up and everything, we saw everything is okay, maybe you can be like, okay, maybe we're trying to help us. But we're not helping. We're seeing people stealing and getting away with it. In fact, what makes me even sad about young people, when they steal, they become more popular and they make it in politics. It saddens me. It makes me sick. I don't know how Vision 2030 is going to be, and I don't know. We who want to become leaders someday, I don't know what our future is, because we want things that are straight. Things are being stolen, and then you can't increase the fuel prices, and we are suffering so much. What do you say about that?
Let me just say something. Everything we are seeing now, the fuel crisis, everyone that has died, you know, Msando, all these people, the riparian land, demolitions around market areas. What this is saying, the common denominator is we have a crisis of governance and leadership in this country, period.
How did we even get there? You know, how did we even get here? That we have to get to this situation where fuel goes up that high. And it was for sure. You saw the crisis that was there. People trying to get into fuel stations. And honestly, I am asking parliamentarians, the president, please. Please.
I have a very interesting question here from one of our viewers. Let me go ahead and read it. Karagu Ngugi says, I see a lot of numbers to this question. The important question that follows your question is, what are we doing about our discomfort? Lack of seats at the table. Why don't we get our own seats, bring them up and insist on sitting there? It has to start with us.
Very good. Now, that's the thing. Now, what you can achieve alone can never be compared with what you can achieve together. So if the four of us decide to do something, obviously it will go far, but if I decide to do it alone, there is nowhere I'll go. But see, when us young people, I'll put a little bit of blame onto us, that if we decide, one day, you know, we say we're going to have to do something about this and we push to get that seat at that table that that person is talking about, we have to do it together, not only one person.
Right now, we just want to create focus on a story that was very rampant this week. I'm sorry to say that we have to touch on it because there's a young person who's involved in a murder case. And of course, Sostin Onyimbo says, look at the killings, assassination, poverty levels, education, education is only for those who can afford it. And of course, joblessness, high-end corruption, healthcare measures, tribalism amongst the youth. Do you see anything to smile about? Take a look at how people retaliated at the death of one of the ladies who passed on this week.
That are involved in this issue, that we are not going to sleep, we are not going to relent, we are going to pursue this justice until we see it's done.
We want justice for Sharon, we want justice for all the female personalities that have been murdered. We want justice for Mercy Keino. We want justice regardless of the position that you hold in government, regardless of the amount of how well your pocket is. We want to say justice should be served.
And of course, that's after the death of one lady who passed on this week. Of course, the name is popular out there. If you're not informed by now, tafadhali tusome gazeti ili tukaweza understand. And of course, it's speculative right now because the investigations are underway. Yes. And of course, this young lady was involved, was murdered. And of course, the assassination involves the name of a governor and it also involves the name of a journalist. Do you think that there is credible information? The judicial process being slowed down because they are trying to create focus on her moral side because CG sponsor, that was one of the words that popped up, CG nini, but then are people concentrating on the judicial service, which is a process that might take forever if you have money, but what's your feedback on the same?
Okay, I wouldn't comment so much on the judicial side of it because we don't know what is going on. I mean, we don't know whether the investigations are begun or whether the case is in court or what is happening. Okay, they have. So then let's leave that there. Let them do the investigation. And what I'm going to say, though, is that before we can even talk about whether she was a sponsoree or there was a sponsor, someone was murdered. And it is alleged it is a governor that was involved, allegedly. So according to the integrity article in the Constitution, if you behave in a manner that puts your office in disrepute, what you should do is step aside until the investigations are done and concluded and you're declared innocent. So we are not going to see that happen. We're not going to see the journalists suspended. The woman is going to get blamed because that's what happens. When a woman does something, a woman gets blamed. When a woman gets killed, it was her fault. When she gets raped, it was her fault, and no one points at the man. So what I'm going to say is that right now, it's not a moral dilemma, it's a crime. A crime has been committed, and those people who need to pay, need to pay. Those who need to be suspended need to have been suspended by now.
Just look at this tweet. It says, Joseph Yambo says, it's never fair, especially for the poor like Sharon. So Sharon was involved in this murder. Is it more unfair for the poor? That's what people want to hear right now.
Before I begin my sentiments on this, let me first pray for comfort in the family of Sharon. This is a very hard time for them. So a lot of comfort to them, and I hope God takes them through this very difficult journey. Now, let me get to the point. This is Youth Cafe, and we have to be serious about some things. Moral versus justice. I believe there's a problem in both. However, I'm not going to talk about the justice part because, like you say, it's an ongoing case. I'm going to leave it there. The people who are involved, we still even do not know. So we cannot say this and this is involved. But there's a problem. Let me talk about the university student. Obviously, this is not a fact, but some people have come up with 1 in every 5 girls in the university have, yes, and we're going to use that word. That's what the word is being used out there, sponsors. It is quite sad that the center stage of our lives has been the thirst and hunger for money. That has made people kill other people. This has made brothers turn against each other and people go against the parent. Why? Money. We've made money such a god that we worship it so badly.
Money is a language in its own.
Absolutely. But somebody wants to say, hey, listen, money is important. Yes, it is important, but are you worshiping it? No, the worship of money has become so bad that we do not care about humanity. Panic man society. We've forgotten that we're brothers and sisters. We've forgotten about spiritual matters. We've forgotten that this is a community that needs people together, not individuals.
What should be done? What should be done?
That's where I'm going.
For young people to be able to get in spaces of influence. We are in spaces of influence. When you look at the music sector, we are. When you look at when you look at anything artistic, anything that involves talent, we are there. Anything that involves leadership, we are there, but as puppets. We are not the main people. We don't have the last call. And people who say that they're young, I think they are relatively young because 50 is not young, as you said. So just what should be done?
just before she goes, remember, so what I'm trying to say here is, let us make this life about the purpose on earth, not about the money. Then the money will follow. Seek your sole purpose. Seek ye the kingdom of God first before anything else. And everything else shall be added. If you look at the most successful people in the Bible, they're very rich, by the way. Sorry.
Okay. The extreme answer to your question, which, the extreme answer would be, get tired, go on the street and say, we are done. You either do what we want you to do, or we are done, we're out.
Do we have the machinery? Because day 1, we are 600,000. Day 2, we are 12 people.
Now, I said that is the extreme side. Like when worst comes to, we've tried to talk, we've tried to do all things. What I will, my other side of the answer would be, do you know who your MCA is? Do you know where their offices are? Do you know what an MCA is supposed to do? Are you holding them accountable? Do you know who your member of parliament is? Do you know where their offices are? Are you holding your leaders accountable? Do these leaders even know what they're supposed to do? Do they know that they're supposed to be serving you? Are you doing your part to hold them accountable? That is a nice answer I will give. Are you holding your leaders accountable? Because at the end of the day, elections is not what happens on the ballot. It's what happens during those 5 years, holding your leaders accountable, having this conversation long after the elections.
All right, it's quite unfortunate. I'm looking at the Twitter poll. We had asked you, are you proud to be Kenyan? 67% of you say no, and only 33% say, yes, wipe this high number.
A perfect reflection of what's going on in our country right now. And of course, this conversation doesn't end today. We'd like you to take a look at this clip. It's an amazing clip. It's actually a song that we played before, but we just would like you to actually get an opportunity to watch it a little bit more. I look good because I was dressed by myself. That's how we finished, by the way. Of course, thank you very much, Captain, of course. And you're also now my official lawyer.
Yes, anytime we got issues, we're calling you.
And of course, right now, that's all from Youth Cafe. And of course, this time now we're going to look at it's like a cover by Isaiah Maganga of the song Sauti Sol and Nyashinski's song Tujiangalie. And of course, Tujiangalie. Sisi out. Next week, Mzuri. Good night.
Peace out.
Sisi out.